Ryan has just landed at an airport somewhere in Latin America. A driver is already waiting for him, ready to take him deep into the countryside. After a long ride through dense forest, Ryan arrives at a luxurious villa perched on a quiet hill, far from everything. He is there because his old friend Jack invited him to visit. Using the house password Jack left with the driver, Ryan lets himself inside. Since Jack is still out handling work, Ryan is told to make himself at home and cook the ingredients that have already been prepared. That night, Jack finally returns. It has been almost 12 years since they last saw each other. The reunion quickly turns into a long, heartfelt conversation about life. They both studied culinary arts in college and once shared the same dream of becoming great chefs. But their paths turned out very differently. Ryan now works as a simple cook at a roadside restaurant, barely making ends meet. Jack, on the other hand, works for a high-end service agency that provides exclusive dining experiences. The villa is not his house. It is rented by the agency for a private dinner event happening in a few days. Jack was sent ahead as the head chef to prepare everything. When the topic shifts to Jack's salary, Ryan is stunned. The amount Jack earns for a single event is enormous. His clients are ultra-wealthy individuals from around the world. Yet despite the money, Jack does not look happy. He seems tense, even frustrated. According to him, the rich never just want good food. They want something extraordinary, something unforgettable, and that constant pressure weighs heavily on him. The next morning, Jack takes Ryan into a nearby town in his newly purchased car. They end up at a small cafe famous for its Wagyu steak. There, they meet a friendly solo traveler named Alice. The three of them quickly hit it off. She even agrees to visit the villa to taste their cooking and decide who is the better chef. In the end, she prefers Ryan's dish, even though he only works at a modest roadside restaurant.
Smells good.
Yes!
It's incredible.
I knew it.
The result quietly proves that Ryan's skills might actually surpass Jack's. After dinner, the conversation drifts to the watch on Jack's wrist. It has history. Jack won it from Ryan in a card game about 15 years ago. Later that night, Jack and Alice, who clearly feel a connection, decide to spend the night together. Ryan is left alone, sitting with the meal he just cooked. The following morning, reality hits. Ryan receives a message from a loan shark demanding payment. It becomes clear that visiting Jack was not just about reconnecting. Ryan is drowning in debt and trying to escape relentless collectors who threaten him almost daily. Shortly after, Jack returns from dropping Alice at her hotel, then heads out again to handle work matters. Once Jack is gone, Ryan quietly opens Jack's laptop, which was left on. What he finds shocks him. Jack's bank account holds 1.7 million euros earned from cooking for the wealthy elite. That is when Ryan makes the worst decision of his life. This is what you wish for. That night, the two friends talk again, this time about life's hardships. Jack speaks as if he is the most miserable man in the world, burdened and exhausted, even with all that money sitting in his account. Ryan considers confessing his financial troubles, but as Jack continues venting about his stress and suffering, Ryan hesitates. Instead of asking for help, he keeps his problems to himself. The next morning, Ryan wakes up and makes a horrifying discovery. Jack is dead. Instead of calling the police, Ryan just stands there in shock. His mind does not go to grief or panic. It goes straight to his debts. The pressure, the threats, the fear of what might happen to his mother. And slowly, a dangerous idea forms. What if he hides the body and takes the money in Jack's account to pay everything off? There is one problem. The bank requires in-person verification to withdraw that kind of money. That means Ryan would have to show up as Jack with proper identification. So he orders a fake driver's license online under Jack's name, but with his own face on it. It will take a few days to arrive. At the same time, the loan sharks escalate. They send photos of Ryan's mother while she is out shopping, making it clear they are watching her. They threaten to kill her if he does not pay immediately. That is the moment Ryan fully commits. He drags Jack's body to a nearby lake and sinks it to the bottom, weighing it down with heavy fitness dumbbells. The following day, Ryan meets the loan sharks at a cafe, trying to buy himself a little more time. But they are done waiting. They demand full payment that same day. When Ryan returns to the villa, he notices a car already parked outside. Inside, he finds two people from the agency Jack worked for, a woman named Imogene and her associate, Jose. They are there to check on the dinner preparations. By pure coincidence, neither of them has ever met Jack in person, so when they see Ryan, they assume he is the chef they hired. Ryan plays along. When they ask about the menu and how far the preparations have progressed, he answers confidently. After all, he is a trained chef just like Jack. Then he sees an opportunity. He asks for part of the payment in advance, claiming it is standard procedure. Surprisingly, it works. With that advance, Ryan pays off his debts. His mother is safe. For the first time in a long while, he can breathe. But now he has stepped into something much bigger. At first, it seems like just another high-end culinary event. As a chef, Ryan believes he can handle any request. But then Imogene reveals the real menu. He is expected to cook human flesh. Not only that, he must help choose the person who will become the next dish. That is when the truth comes out. The agency is a secret organization that provides human meat to wealthy clients seeking extreme, exclusive experiences. This is not just fine dining. It is something far darker. And once you are in, you do not simply walk away. If Ryan even thinks about running, his life will be the price. In that moment, everything about Jack suddenly makes sense. The stress, the frustration, the despair. It becomes painfully clear why Jack may have chosen to do the unthinkable rather than remain trapped inside this nightmare. Early the next morning, Jose wakes Ryan and tells him they are heading back to the church they visited the day before. This time, the purpose is much darker. They are looking for a target, someone who will become the main ingredient. The agency calls it selecting a product. The criteria are simple and disturbing: healthy, tender, preferably young. Their attention falls on a young girl walking with her grandmother, and they begin following them. But near a bridge, the girl and her grandmother disappear into narrow alleyways. As Ryan and Jose hesitate, a young mechanic approaches them and questions what they are doing there. Jose studies him. The mechanic looks strong and healthy. After a brief exchange of glances, Ryan silently agrees. The target has changed. Jose pretends his car has broken down and offers the mechanic money to check the engine. As soon as the mechanic slides under the vehicle, Jose shoots him.
¿Cómo? Está bien.
Para mí también.
Seconds later, the young girl and her grandmother return, this time with a local police officer. The officer wants to know why the two men were following them, but Jose is experienced. He calmly shifts into a prepared cover story, presenting himself as a representative from a large company surveying land for a future hotel project. He even hands over a convincing business card. The officer accepts the explanation. Not long after, Jose and Ryan are driving back to the villa with the mechanic's body hidden in the garage area. Once inside, they drag the body into a secret underground room. Now it is Ryan's turn to do what is expected of him. He hesitates. He has spent his entire life preparing food, but never anything like this. He has never cut human flesh. For a moment, he freezes, but he can feel Imogene and Jose watching him carefully, sensing his uncertainty. At this point, refusal is not an option. If he wants to survive, he has to go through with it. Hours later, as a special team from the agency decorates the villa for the evening event, Ryan showers, trying to wash away what he has just done. Meanwhile, Jose boils bones on the stove and arranges trays of carefully cut meat. After his shower, Ryan notices a package waiting for him. The fake driver's license he ordered has arrived. He stares at it, thinking everything through. Then he makes a decision. He will run. He quietly gets into Jack's car and starts driving away from the villa. But just a few meters down the road, he accidentally hits a gardener. At that exact moment, Jose arrives. Ryan quickly claims the brakes failed because the car is old. Jose is not easily fooled. He sees right through the excuse. Eventually, Ryan admits the truth. He wants out. Surprisingly, Jose does not get angry. He does not threaten him or report him to Imogene. Instead, he offers calm advice. No one has ever successfully escaped the agency. Their network is global. They can find anyone, anywhere. Running would only delay the inevitable. With no real options left, Ryan accepts his situation. That evening, at least 5 high-profile guests from different countries will attend the event. That night, the first 2 guests arrive, a wealthy married couple from Belgium. Everything seems to be moving according to plan until an unexpected visitor shows up. It is the same local police officer who spoke to Jose earlier that day, and this time he is accompanied by a central police detective named Detective Ruiz. Ruiz happens to be the uncle of the missing mechanic, the very man Ryan and Jose killed. Detective Ruiz is there to question Jose about his nephew's disappearance. According to the local officer, both Jose and Ryan were seen near the area where the mechanic was last spotted. Since Jose is out picking up another guest, Imogene has no choice but to introduce Detective Ruiz to Ryan in the kitchen. She presents Ryan as an architect working on a future hotel project. The problem is obvious. Ryan is standing there in chef's clothing, actively cooking. Thinking quickly, he claims that cooking is simply a hobby of his. Ryan's nerves are showing, especially when the detective begins asking about architecture. Sensing the tension, Imogene smoothly offers them a bowl of meat soup, unaware to the detective that he is about to taste his own nephew. While the detective eats, Imogene steps away to brief the Belgian couple and asks them to play along as investors if necessary. She then returns to the kitchen, standing beside Detective Ruiz as he continues enjoying the soup. He comments on how unique and delicious the meat tastes. Ryan calmly explains that it is a blend of pork and lamb. The detective also asks to charge his phone in the corner of the room and continues asking casual questions about the hotel project. Ryan struggles to keep up, clearly uncomfortable and out of his depth. Fortunately for him, the arrival of more guests outside interrupts the conversation. Before greeting the new arrivals, Imogene pulls Ryan aside and reminds him that he should already understand how to handle situations like this. Meanwhile, Jose returns and manages to give Detective Ruiz a convincing set of alibis, skillfully deflecting suspicion. Eventually, Detective Ruiz prepares to leave. He approaches the 5 guests at the table to apologize for the disturbance. One of the guests, a wealthy man from Japan, surprises everyone by inviting the detective to stay and join the dinner. The local officer declines and leaves, but the Japanese guest insists that people like him crave unusual experiences. Something thrilling, something that pushes boundaries. Having a detective join the table would only make the evening more exciting. Not long after, Jose informs Imogene about an uninvited visitor waiting outside. It is Alice, the traveler who spent the night with Jack before everything happened. She says she wants to see Jack. Since she refuses to leave, Imogene allows her inside, hoping she will not stay long. When Ryan sees Alice walk in, he is visibly shaken. The timing could not be worse. Alice starts asking questions about Jack and wonders why he is not the one cooking tonight. Ryan stumbles through an explanation, claiming that Jack returned to the UK because he was exhausted from work. Alice seems disappointed and prepares to leave. But just before she walks out, she notices something that stops her cold. The watch Jack once wore is now on Ryan's wrist. Suspicion flashes across her face, and without saying much more, she quickly exits the villa. As the evening continues, Ryan is asked to step forward and receive the guests' applause for the extraordinary meal. The praise is overwhelming. The guests are impressed and eager for something even more special. For dessert, they request a very specific delicacy, tongue sliced thin like sashimi. Ryan heads back to the kitchen to prepare it. That is when he and Imogene make a disturbing discovery. The mechanic they used as their main ingredient had herpes, visible through reddish lesions on his skin. Serving his tongue is no longer an option. They need a replacement, something clean and healthy. At that exact moment, Alice returns to the villa. She says her car has broken down and asks for help calling a taxi. Shortly after, Ryan serves the sashimi tongue to the guests. This time, it is Alice's. While the dinner continues, Ryan quietly slips a message to Detective Ruiz, asking him to meet in the restroom. There, Ryan finally reveals everything. He confesses what has been served, including the soup the detective enjoyed earlier. The realization hits Ruiz hard. He becomes sick and vomits, horrified by what he has consumed. The two of them quickly form a plan. Ruiz pretends to leave the villa, intentionally leaving his phone behind on charge. Instead of getting into his car, he circles around to the back of the property, where Ryan leads him into the secret underground room. Inside, Ruiz sees the horrifying truth with his own eyes. He is ready to call for backup, but then he remembers his phone is still inside. He does not even remember his colleagues' numbers. Ryan has a phone, but it will not help. The only option is to retrieve the detective's device from the villa. Ruiz stays hidden underground while Ryan goes back inside. By this time, the guests have finished dinner and are preparing to leave. As Ryan escorts them out, Jose grows suspicious of his movements. Acting on instinct, Jose heads straight to the basement. Moments later, Detective Ruiz is brutally killed with a chainsaw. When Ryan returns to the underground room, he finds Ruiz dead in a pool of blood. Alice's body lies beside him. Jose knows Ryan tried to expose everything, yet he remains calm. He simply instructs Ryan to clean up the mess. After the event concludes, Imogene efficiently stages the deaths of Detective Ruiz, Alice, and the mechanic. With help from the agency's headquarters, everything is covered up professionally. It is clear they have handled situations like this many times before. The next morning, Ryan lies awake in bed. He has not slept at all. Imogene informs him that the guests have already sent glowing emails praising his cooking. They are beyond satisfied. Not only that, headquarters recommends Ryan for even larger international events, serving an even more elite clientele. Imogene transfers the remaining payment of 250,000 euros into his account. With his growing reputation inside the agency, she assures him that wealth is now guaranteed. Following agency protocol, Ryan is injected with a tiny GPS tracker in his neck. It is a precaution, a silent reminder that he belongs to them now. The device ensures he cannot disappear, and more importantly, that he will never be tempted to reveal their secret. With the event over, Ryan is allowed to return home to London. As he prepares to leave, Jose stays behind, calmly burning the cars that belong to Alice and Detective Ruiz, erasing any remaining evidence. At the airport, waiting for his flight, Ryan sits among other passengers. A man nearby strikes up a casual conversation. He talks about his job as a field worker for a company that barely pays enough. To save money, he often stays in cheap airport hotels and cuts corners wherever he can. When the man hears about Ryan's job as a private chef for wealthy clients, earning enormous sums and staying in luxury villas, he is visibly shocked and envious. From the outside, Ryan's life sounds like a dream. What the man does not know is that Ryan feels nothing close to happiness. The money, the luxury, the status, none of it feels like success. The weight of what he has done lingers heavily inside him. And in that quiet moment at the airport, it becomes clear that Ryan now understands exactly how Jack once felt, trapped in a life that looks glamorous from a distance, but slowly destroys you from within. So the moral of the story is if your rich chef friend invites you to a luxury villa in Latin America, maybe just bring a gift basket instead of stealing his identity and accidentally joining a human sashimi startup.